Greetings and salutations, my dear audience. This is Joe St. Egg Benedictus, just on location. I am on a working retreat, a writing retreat, and just wanted to give you kind of a layout of what we're at here, because there's nothing better than doing a Bible review. It's not really a Bible review, it's more of a figuring out the office space when you're trying to work, trying to get things done, and how things work in a sanitized area. Just want to give a shout out to my pal Mike and to all the visionaries and mystics out there. Thank you for joining me. First, I have kind of a setup here. This is a working retreat, which means that I have a Sunday school curriculum that I have to write for. It's around here somewhere. If I have it, let me see here. It's under here. But it's the formation study guide I write from every year and a half or so. So it's about 4 units. It's by Smith and Helwes. And so here we go. First of all, I have my control desk over here, so to speak. To my right are not only my drinks, I have to move, but also some commentaries here that I picked out just for this thing. Oh, it's a note from my wife. Get that out of the way. So, anyway, New Interpreter's Bible Commentary is a great commentary. It's usually, I think it's a 12 or 13 commentary set. They go on sale sometimes at christianbook.com for about $300 to $400. So they're kind of expensive if you're on staff at a church. Make the church buy it because they are pricey, and it's pretty good. And you have your it's based on the old Interpreter's Bible, but gives some pretty good new scholarship. I like it. It gives a wide range of scholarship. It's very evangelical in some respects, and kind of more mainline in others. So as you open it up here, just to give you an example, they'll give you the text, commentary, and then when you get to the end of this section, they'll give you reflections here, as you can see. So pretty good setup. The old Interpreter's Bible was text, then you have exposition in the middle, and then commentary on the bottom. I kind of liked that outline, but this gives it a little bit more broader base. Plus, in the old Interpreter's commentary, you had 2 authors, one for exposition and one for commentary for each book. In the New Interpreter's Bible, you only have 1 author per book, which is fine, but I do like the variety that the old Interpreter's Bible has. Plus, the old Interpreter's Bible is kind of like the benchmark for mainline theology. I also brought these 2, John, Ephesians, Colossians. This is the New Bible Commentary. I believe it's on the NIV. Let's take a look. So, yeah, New Bible Commentary. Based on the NIV. So again, this is more evangelical than the New Interpreter is more mainline, but this is more evangelical. It gives you the commentary for each verse, and then at the end of each section, it gives you additional notes on more of the specific Greek and words. So it gives you kind of a little bit of both. It's a pretty good commentary. I find that it's very helpful with the exegesis versus commentary part of it. You know, if I want ideas for sermons, I go to the Interpreter's Bible for some things in the Old Testament. If it's New Testament, I go to the New Interpreters, and if it's more word study or exegesis, I go to either these, or I have the New American Bible, which is more exegetical. I also have William Barclays' Daily Bible Study Series. This is an awesome book. I'm telling you, Barclay is so good. He will give you great sermon ideas. If you have to preach every week and you are more narrative preaching rather than exegesis, go to Barclay, because he provides a lot of historical background. Of course, he only wrote on the New Testament, but it's really both fun to read in a devotional sense, but also gives great ideas. I also have a book on theology by Dan Migliori, an introduction to Christian theology, because part of the lesson I'm doing is on theology. Next thing I have here is my study guide. This is this quarter study guide. I actually have writing in this one on creation, but I use it for reference to make sure that I'm doing the right things for the next time around. Because I write every year and a half, you kind of get out of practice. I have my Greek New Testament nerds. Also, with the Greek New Testament, I put some cool Bible things on there, because when you're using Greek, it takes you a while to find the book if you're not a speed reader, which I'm not. Have some notepads here, my watch, have a little sketchbook here and pens because you just can't spend all the time working. I have my little guide here, writing guide, with how they want to format the books. Then I have my devotional Bible for my devotions. Inside I have my journal. And then this is the New Living Translation. I did a review on this. So I kind of read this devotionally, use this to pray. And I also use it to get ideas also for the Sunday school lesson. So I got that over here, nice and handy. So I can just reach my commentaries, reach for my alternative translation. Got my notes and my pen, little notes from my wife. Got my computer. My mouse is dead. Oh, no, he's alive. Now, this is where the beauty is. I have my editor's guidelines here for the writing of the stuff, but here is my beautiful Oxford Annotated, New Oxford Annotated Bible, NRSV, 4th edition, Oxford. This is a tried and true Bible, nice soft leathery feel to it. This I purchased in 2010, so it's going on 11 years old. You can see some wear and tear. You can see some water damage here. I spilled water when I was preparing a sermon. I only use this Bible for sermon prep, so this stays on my desk constantly opened to wherever I have it every week. I spill water, gets on there, throw things on it, gets bent. This is a really used Bible, as you can see. So right now my Sunday school lesson I'm writing on is on John 14, 1 through 15. So you can see some notes from previous times. I had some things I had to work out this morning for a previous lesson. I have some notes like Latin Traditio, what's up nerds, and things like that. So this is a really used, loved Bible. I was contemplating replacing this, but because if you look, it's like really worn. I put some ribbons there, and it's just getting really just beat up, which is fine. That's how Bibles are supposed to be. But if you watch my video, my last video, or a couple videos before this one, you'll see that I picked up an NASB Harper Study Bible, which I never heard of before, for like $1 from the used bookstore, and it's so nice, and the notes are so helpful. These are more scholarly notes, which I enjoy. But I used the other I used the other Bible for sermon prep last week, and it actually gave me my sermon idea. I always have in every sermon just one nugget, one idea that drives the rest of the sermon, and that study Bible gave me my sermon idea. So I use this, but I'm gonna kind of retire this since it's really old, and use the NASB for now and see how that works. The NASB, like I said, I reviewed it in a previous video, so you can check it out. Now this is one Bible commentary by Eugene Boring and Fred Craddock. Fred Craddock is one of my favorite preachers. He actually is my favorite preacher. If you were to do your like top 10, he would be like number 1, and then Tom Long, and then it talks about all kinds of things, like John 14:2. In my Father's house there are many rooms. Talks about how the word is better translated not necessarily household as in place, but as family rather than a building. It says here the point is that there is a lot of room in God's household, and God has a big family. So it's more contemporary. I kind of like that. It points out how, we get the idea of place or household from the King James Version, which translates the English word into mansion, but it's a family, not a place. So it gives you some alternative ideas or thoughts. Also have something bookmarked here about how the John's Church was addressing how to be a disciple of Jesus when Jesus is no longer present. Of course, there's the promise of the Holy Spirit in John 14, 15, and 16, another topic. Then under here, I just have my notes from my editor, and let's see here. So I'm just going to keep this here with my stuff. But notes from the editor, just how to write, my themes that I have to write on, and then my trusty notepad. This notepad is kind of one I picked up at a Goodwill, and it is just a great notepad. I don't know what it is about this notepad, but I use it for everything. This is actually my list of YouTube videos, so I checked off videos that I made. So I keep my YouTube video list in there. I keep goals I have in there. I keep all kinds of family plans and goals. Notes. More notes. I draft D&D campaigns in this thing. I mean, this thing is great. You always need something trusty, a trusty notebook that you can turn to that's familiar. that inspires, that strikes inspiration in your heart and keeps you going, keeps you writing, keeps you motivated, keeps you on top of things. I'm the kind of guy who likes tradition, and I don't like a lot of change, so I keep things over time, like my 11-year-old Bible and my 4-year-old notebook and my trusty journal. I've had this for quite a few years, and just like the tried and true. So you have friends around you here, all these friends in an unfamiliar place like a hotel room, and with that you can get some work done and focus on the task ahead of you in order to help others understand God's Word better. So thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe. You know, I love looking at other pastors' offices and desks and how the writing and the sermon prep and all the fun stuff, the process of sermon prep and writing are for them. So I love videos like that, and I hope you enjoy this video. Like and subscribe, and we'll check you later.